It's obvious, guys, right? This has to be the choice, the best looking handle scales that I have ever seen. No, not quite. Had to mess with you a little bit, but stay tuned and you'll see the best ones that I've really ever come across. Hello out there, and as you could have guessed, the Benchmade Mini Griptilian, as much as I love the model, it does not have the best looking scales of all time. It doesn't have even particularly good looking scales, let's be honest, with the stock version. But today, I am going to show the set of scales that I came across in this box right here that is arguably the best looking set of scales that I've ever seen. And they were beautiful online and in pictures, and then in person they're just even better. And I sort of wanted to tie this into the conversation that people have been having a lot lately, and maybe I've just noticed it more as I've gotten into traditional knives a little bit more, but just sort of the deterioration of the quality from WR Case and just how GEC has completely surpassed them. And my buddy Alchemy One, he's been killing it lately, guys. He's just been doing a lot of very good objective kind of videos about the status of like this kind of situation, and then some of the other things with the bailout he's been talking about. And even if you agree, if you disagree, whatever the point is, like his channel is a really good one just for a side of the discussion and to really jump in and get involved. And so I've really enjoyed that lately. But he had a video where he talked about just how Case has sort of gone downhill. Not sort of, they've gone downhill over the years. And that the argument that, well, they're still a good knife for the money isn't applicable because they're just not as good as they were and they're not up to the standard that they should be. And I got to tell you, I have had some Case knives, guys, that just aren't particularly well made as far as fit and finish, blade sharpness, just the quality of the knives. Just remember them nostalgically being better, and it's not just nostalgia, they were better. But I have to say there are a couple knives, a couple Case knives that I've gotten recently that sort of buck that trend. I'll say 100% that these two GECs, which are just, a couple examples, have nicer materials when it comes to the scales than this Case right here. But this Teardrop is a beauty. It's a beautiful knife, and it's well put together. I got it really lightly used on Amazon. It was part of like the Amazon warehouse deals. Got it for like less than 30 bucks. And this thing's great. So Case still does deliver. They're just not consistent. And I think Alchemy's big point was that they are producing way too many models in order to be executing at the high enough level that they need to. So I will agree with everything that he says, and I see it the same way. But then they make a knife like this. And this thing, guys, it absolutely blew me away. This handle scale is remarkable. This is from their stained glass series. And just the level of detail and how clean it looks. It really, really does it for me. They have 3 different versions. I think they have one with a dove and then, another religious themed one. And they're all trappers, and the rest of the knife is pretty well put together as well. But it's all about this this handle. And the fit and finish on it is pretty darn good. It isn't perfect, but while they're charging, $110, $115 for a knife like this, I 100% see it, because this is just, it's not one of a kind. They're producing this, but you don't see this very often. And so, yeah, I think the name Case might have been diluted just with the number of models that they put out. But it's stuff like this where you can see that the attention has been brought to executing a knife at the highest level possible. It still gives me hope for the brand, and it still gives me excitement. You know, and I might be completely wrong, guys. I'm not an expert when it comes to the traditional stuff. Maybe someone who knows a lot more than I do is looking at this video right now and picking out inconsistencies and problems. But as far as I, can see, this knife is amazing. And I don't think there's, if you're comparing Case to GEC, if this is Case at its finest is right up there with what GEC does. And I mean, this is probably not GEC at their finest either. I know they have models that are better and more popular than this, but I mean, everything GEC does is pretty solid, but Case is right up there with them with this knife, guys. I mean, just, I'll try to get it close and just show you a little bit more. I mean, the coloration, it's awesome. This is, and it's not even going to be my knife, but this is my favorite knife scale that I have ever come across, probably. Just super cool. So yeah, kudos to Case. 100%, like I said, I see where Alchemy One is coming from, and I agree with his perspective overall, but I think the difference is maybe I still have a little bit of hope when something at a reasonable price is made well like this, and then something a little bit more expensive is just knocked out of the park like that. It's awesome to see from a brand that I just want to see succeed and do well. So that's it, guys. That's my take. I mean, more than anything else, I just wanted to show you this knife, right? But any other questions, comments, complaints, suggestions, let me know down below. Actually, stick around. I'm going to splice in a couple answers to some of your questions to finish out this video, and then we'll call it a day. All right. Thanks again for watching, though. Bye. Okay, guys, and now let's get into a couple of your questions. Continuing to try to do this almost every video, so always stay tuned at the end. But the first question today is going to be something really straightforward, a very simple knife question. What do I prefer, Chris Reeve knives or Hinderers? And to be honest, even though I've handled a bunch of Hinderers and I've had them on the channel on loan for review, the only one I've ever actually owned is a Chris Reeve, this one right here, the small Inkosi. And I've got to tell you guys, I 100% prefer the Chris Reeve knives. Now, that's not a matter of quality, even though I do think in a lot of ways from what I've seen, the quality of the CRKs is maybe a little bit better, or maybe some of the decisions they make are ones that I prefer over the Hinderers. But more than that, it's really just a design thing. The designs that I'm really interested in between Hinderer and Chris Reeve are all Chris Reeve. The Insingo blade shape on the large Sebenza, that's one that I really want. I really like the Umnumzan. I like the slip joint that they have, just like the look of those knives. They're knives that I would want to own and carry. And with Hinderer, there's a couple of them, but they're not that high on my list. While stuff like this, it just calls to me. It's just the look of it. So yeah, I would definitely go Chris Reeve knives in that competition between the two. The second question is a little bit more of a loaded question. And it is, what kind of impact do you think you have on the knife community, and what do you hope to get across to the viewers? And man, that's tough. And it's not something I think about, to be completely straightforward. I don't try to affect anything on a macro level. I look at what other people do, and I try to make my channel at least somewhat different and provide something that sets me a little bit apart, just either style or what I'm talking about or video topic. anything, to stand out from the rest of the people, sure. But I don't have any aim to impact people on a large scale. My whole goal when I was a viewer, which I still am, but like when I didn't have the channel, my goal in watching a knife review was to get a perspective. And I was trying to find a perspective that I trusted, and it wasn't just one person that I would watch in order to find out if I wanted to buy a knife. It would be 3 or 4, and I'd have a number of people's opinions that I trusted, and I'd watch their take on a certain model, and that would help me inform me, to make a purchase or not, and just influence me in a number of ways. So I'm not really trying to influence a community. I'm trying to just give the best information that I can and give my opinion and share it, and then get the back and forth from you guys. I get comments from people that say, "Thank you for the advice that you've given. I made a purchase. It was a good one." I mean, I hear that kind of stuff a lot. But what you guys might not really understand and appreciate is how much that comes back to me, like how much I've learned from you guys. So maybe it's a selfish thing, but I'm not necessarily trying to impact you guys. I'm getting as much out of it as anyone else possibly can, if that makes sense. So hopefully just being another, quality person making decent content on a level that sort of helps build the community. Just being a cog in the system. That's fine with me when it comes to how I impact the community. So yeah, there you have it. And that's it for today, guys. All right, so thanks for watching, and I'll talk with you soon.